Welcome back to Season 2 of D.N.A. Did you miss me? Because I certainly missed all of you. Since our last filming, we've had quite a few highs and lows all over the country, and in 2022, we want this show to be one of your highs. So, when you tune in, look to learn and laugh, and you're going to walk away with something valuable. In succession to our COVID-19 segment, this segment will be covering the history of infectious diseases and vaccines. So let's shoot to the lab for more. Hey, what's going on?
I just got word from headquarters that we have to put this segment on hold. We're in a state of emergency. There's too much controversy around vaccinations and we're needed on the front lines. Let's go.
Okay, most of us are aware there's a disproportionate amount of African Americans who want nothing to do with the vaccinations. And rightfully so. I'm on the fence about it myself. And historically speaking, we've been literal guinea pigs at the mercy of those who never thought our precious Black lives mattered. And before this became more of an open conversation over the years, with advocates fighting to bring attention to some of the more well-known and heinous crimes, such as the Tuskegee experiment, those of us in the African American community know that, like every other act of criminal activity against us, far outnumbers the ones that make the headlines. So, in an attempt to bring the disease to a halt and make our community safe, we bring you a very controversial episode covering vaccinations on D.N.A.
D.N.A.
I'm not doing that. I already do enough for you. No, you're late. Stop putting me on the job. You can do it yourself. Oh. We're here at the Richmond Muslim Mission Center, a small yet impactful community of elders that hold Jummah prayer service every week, hosting a variety of events, networking with other Muslim organizations, feeding the community, and much more. Or at least they used to. We have COVID-19 and a lot of hard-headed people to thank. Thank you for that. But they still maintain food giveaways for the community, which is great. Let's see what their thoughts are on vaccinations.
Thank you for meeting with us. We know that you've been vaccinated and we know there's a lot of controversy and various opinions surrounding this disease, not to mention vaccination. Which vaccine did you get?
We got the Pfizer.
I take the Pfizer.
Moderna. The Pfizer.
Did you experience any side effects?
None at all. I had both shots and I didn't have any experience, no side effects or anything.
I did not. Everything went well.
The first shot was fine. The second shot I experienced tiredness. I was extremely tired, but that was the only side effect that I experienced.
I feel a few days pains in the left shoulder.
How was life changed for you during quarantine?
I had an older sister by the age of 86. She's deceased by the COVID. A grandson brought into the house and infected the whole family. My niece just got out of the hospital about 2 weeks ago. My sister didn't make it.
What were your thoughts on the talk around the vaccination before it became available? At any point, were you apprehensive about taking it?
Well, at first, our history, and this, it was, but after I thought about it and looking at the world scene, then I decided, I said, this is serious. People dying left and right, especially people my age, and this thing is serious. They shut down the hearts, shut down everything. So that was scary, But one thing about it was that people was able to get closer to their family. I thought that was a blessing in itself.
What made you take that leap of faith?
Prayer. I prayed on it. I wasn't going to get it at first. And then I saw this, where everybody was sick, dying, especially my age, and I said, I either got to pray on this, and if it's Allah's will for me to get it, I will. So I made the appointment. Well, appointment was supposed to have been made, I thought. When I got there to get the shot, I told my granddaughter, I said, if it's for me to get this shot, it's gonna happen. We get there, they say, you don't have an appointment, so you can't go, you can't get it. Then some lady just walked up and said, drive down where those police officers and see what's what. He said, I don't understand why they would send you down here without an appointment. Then the doctor walks up and he said, we have an extra shot that we can give this lady. So that's how I ended up getting my shot. I felt it was the will of Allah for me to get it.
According to the Center of Disease Control, of the 75 million people across the U.S. who were fully vaccinated as of Tuesday, some 5,800 still tested positive for COVID-19 in what is known as a breakthrough infection. About 400 of those 5,800 people with the breakthrough infections required hospitalization, and 74 died from that disease. But how does this make you feel?
I'm just blessed because, you know, it was really terrifying, people dying, and, you know, it's just, but if you need, we really need to pay attention to this and do what we have to do, you know. It's awful, you know.
I'm going to read an excerpt from Apple News. The CDC's vaccine tracker, which was updated Saturday afternoon, shows that more than 66% of adults aged 65 years and older has also been fully vaccinated. More than 254 million doses in total have been administered. Since the vaccines were initially available to an older at-risk demographic, do you believe that the younger demographic will have as high rates?
No, I don't, because they don't heed warnings. They think they're invincible, and they're not. But the elderly, we know we have more time behind us than we do in front of us. So it's best we take that shot.
And once again, I want to thank everyone for agreeing to these interviews.
Some people who are fully vaccinated against COVID-19 will still get sick because no vaccination is 100% effective. Experts continue to monitor and evaluate how often this occurs, how severe their illness is, and how likely a vaccinated person is to spread COVID-19 to others. You can find this information right on the CDC website under COVID-19 vaccination guidelines. This isn't hidden information.
Thank you for meeting with us.
What are your views on the vaccination?
My views on vaccination are, on the vaccination, the coronavirus, is not positive at all. I think that these people that are taking it are, it's a bunch of different reasons, but I think that a lot of it has to do with fear of getting the coronavirus and not fully understanding the virus itself. And I think that there's people in power that know that.
Well, what I think is happening with the vaccination is they're just testing a lot of people out to see like what their reaction is going to be to the virus. There have been different reactions to different people, and honestly, I just feel like they're just trying to get the rest of the people that they didn't get with the virus with the vaccine, because some people are actually dying from the vaccine as well. So it's a way to just weed everybody out, in my opinion, honestly.
Everything that I've studied about the vaccination doesn't really add up to why you would really take it unless you were scared and unless you already had a sickness and you felt like the coronavirus was gonna help make that worse. So other than that, my views really isn't positive about the vaccination at all.
According to data released by the CDC, as of March 2021, roughly 1 in every 6 U.S. adults has been vaccinated for the coronavirus. Does this make you feel more comfortable with how you maneuver through day-to-day life?
Well, I'm not convinced that that's the end all, but the mere fact that so many people have been vaccinated, I feel as though the risk is not the same. A satisfaction of knowing that made me feel a lot more free to just get out and to do things that I normally did before this and couldn't do after this. You feel like you're shut in as you are. After my having taken the shot and then convinced that more than me had taken the shot, I realized then how much freedom of being able to move about and do what I want to do when I want to do it. A lot of people didn't and wanted to pull away from being exposed to these inoculations, but I could understand why, and for good reason, but I don't think people understand that those things that happened in the past, we've learned from them, hopefully, and won't make the same kind of mistakes.
Be aware, the experts say that the risk of a breakthrough infection might not be equal among everyone who's been vaccinated. The CDC said about 40% of the breakthrough infections reported have been discovered in people over 60, a demographic in which vaccines are often less effective.
What was your experience with the shot?
I received the Pfizer shot. No side effects, either shot. I've had 3 weeks apart. My first shot was February 24th, and my second shot was March 17th. And I didn't experience anything, even the minor like swelling from some injections, nothing at all. Little soreness in the shot area. Other than that, nothing.
Did you have any reservations about taking it?
I did always have that attitude, like, I'm not gonna have no needle stuck in me from anybody. Okay, then our history as a people. A lot of people reference the Tuskegee experience, but that was more of not getting a shot, being isolated from the care and the therapy. But there's so many similar situations with us, with black folks in America, that it's almost normal to be reluctant and skeptical.
Would you feel comfortable walking around maskless?
Yes, I would feel comfortable being maskless when I'm not around a crowd, or when I'm around those who I know have been totally vaccinated, or others that have not been vaccinated, but I'm vaccinated, and we're in an open space. I look, and listening also to the CDC guidelines, but along with that, you have to have your own common sense of where you are and the people, how are they? You can gauge the people by who's wearing a mask, who's not wearing a mask. Are they in each other's face, sharing their breath with each other real close and not wearing a mask? Then okay, these are the people's not concerned about it, so this is not the place that I should be. They might get mad when I pull my mask out.
People who have been fully vaccinated should keep taking precautions in public places, like wearing a mask, staying at least 6 feet apart from others, avoiding crowds and poorly ventilated spaces, and washing their hands often, the CDC said.
Mr. Choice, given the position you're in as a public figure and educator, I imagine you having to put quite a bit of thought in your decision-making process. Can you please share your thoughts behind the vaccination and why you decided to take it?
Well, my thoughts around the vaccination was, first I did have a little bit of hesitancy, but after doing some research and talking to, trusted people in the healthcare profession, community members, and also just me being an educator and someone whose, health is really important to me, I felt like it was important for me to take the vaccine and sign up. And so I actually, did that, and I feel a lot better since I did.
What type of vaccine were you given, and did you experience any side effects?
I was given the Moderna vaccine. First time, my arm, I got it in my left arm, and my arm was really sore for a couple of days. The second shot, I actually didn't receive any side effects. I felt really fine. I thought I was waiting for it, but it never happened. So I felt really good after the second one.
What responsibilities do you feel to your fans and students?
The main responsibility that I feel is, just being an example, number one, of I felt like if I got the vaccine early and people saw that I was safe and I was doing okay, then that might encourage others to do that. Because at the end of the day, the more people that get vaccinated, the more that, venues can open, the more people can be out in public. Also, our schools can get back into being in person. So I kind of wanted to set an example for my students and fan base or just community as somebody who took the vaccine and is doing well and is moving forward.
Based on having such a diverse audience, do you worry about backlash and speaking out publicly on the vaccination?
Well, yeah, I've worried about it, but I also understand, like, we all have to make our own decision. I do have a lot of friends, even family and people who I work with, colleagues, musicians, artists, who don't want to take the vaccine. And I feel like it's really just about, everybody has to do what they feel is best for them, but also just like making sure we all have correct information, that we're not, just spreading propaganda or anything like that. And also just having trust of, like I said, people who are in the medical field. I have had some debates and arguments and online and in person with people who just refuse, and that's their decision. And we all, like I said, have to make the best decision for ourselves, but also thinking about how that decision affects our communities as well.
Thank you for your time.
Would it soften your view if you were presented with more factual information involving real people with real results?
Yeah, in like 20, 30 years when I find out how they still are doing, like afterwards with the vaccine. I don't think that because this is my thing. Geert Vanden is a pro-vaccine person. This man is like probably one of the most world's talented people when it comes to vaccine. He is a scientist. He says that the vaccines are long lasting, that they can last for years. So if somebody get the vaccine and within 1 or 2 years, they're still acting normal, that's nothing to me. If they are long lasting, I need to see long-term results from other people. I don't need to see short term and then think that everything is okay because nothing happened after. But then even still, like there's personally people that I know that have let me know that their family died after they took the vaccine. So sometimes there's still things that's going on with everybody's body is not the same. Everybody's body on the inside is not built for that.
What preventative measures do you take if you don't ever consider being vaccinated?
Well, honestly, I'm already like a germaphobe type of person. I already wash my hands a lot. I stay away from people. When people cough and sneeze, I've already been really leery of people spreading germs. So if you just take the common, procedures to not spread germs, because honestly, if you notice, they say don't spread the disease, so it has to be spread. So therefore, if you take the proper precautions to make yourself careful and aware and not spread germs, wash your hands and all those things, you should be fine, honestly.
Kids Corner. Down here, there's not so much the vaccine, but a matter of needles.
It's over. Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. That didn't hurt. Awesome. You already knew that. See? You're a big boy.
That's to me. Yeah, no one wants to get past with needles.
It's over.
Wait a minute, if they hunt cherry drop, I take it. Cherry, strawberry, raspberry. Cherry, strawberry, raspberry. Cherry, strawberry, raspberry.
This is an exclusive interview with our family member who is imprisoned at a correctional facility. We felt it was necessary to document his experience with the coronavirus pandemic happening. All of our voices count.
Fedri, Wakia, yes, I did have side effects. My arm was numb, feel like I just worked out, and also had chills and a headache through the night, but that lasted for about 24 hours. I had Moderna. Here they gave me two shots 4 weeks apart. Well, I don't get to see my family. Well, they just started allowing, after a year, they just started allowing visits, but it's only for an hour. Usually you get 4 or 5 hours. They tried video calls, but that didn't work. I don't get the positive program to to start my rehabilitation because all the groups, because of social distance, classes in a confined space, so we don't get to go to group. So I don't get to earn my good time credits. So my time is longer in here, and I don't get the education I need to become a better citizen. Yes, I do feel safe, but I'm a little scared because this is a confined space, but I'm still a little worried about the world. Yes, if we don't wear a mask, we get written up. Yes, it's tiring. Listen to the news, it changes every day. We was supposed to have normal program. We've been expecting normal program 2 months after it started in 2020. So they said we just gonna get normal program in 2 months. So ever since then it's been day to day, but it changed every day. I know they're following protocol. It's new for everybody, so we all going through it together. But yes, it's tiring. Excuse me, I didn't hear you. No, it's choice. Yes, you still, yes, you have a choice. They enforce it on you. Well, it was like a mass vaccination, or it was really like instantly. If they come by your cell door and they ask you, do you want the shot? You get it right then when they ask you. So it wasn't really a sign up, but they did ask you before they administered it. Excuse me? Yes, I chose to do it. I felt it was in my right to do it as a citizen
You have 60 seconds remaining.
to secure the safety as others.
What advice would you give to someone who's taking the vaccine?
If you are really considering taking the vaccine, read what you put in your body.
The best advice I would give anybody that's taken the vaccine already is to do a lot of research on the exact strand of the vaccine that you were injected with.
I grew up in the hood. I grew up in Hunters Point in San Francisco. Also lived in East Oakland for a while. Also stayed in the Ridge for a while. One thing that I have been taught from living in these areas, especially Hunters Point, is you don't trust nobody unless they prove themselves to you. You don't never just listen to somebody. Somebody can come up to you easily. Hey, you know what this person said about you, da-da-da. You believe it. You go to that person and get shot, and you find out that the person that told you didn't even like you. They was doing it for their own plan to get rid of you. Or they was doing so these things are very real, even though we don't, a lot of times don't really know about it.
You want to make sure that your body's going to react to whatever's in that. So you need to know, do your research, ask your doctor what the exact name of it was so you can do some research and find out what's in it, what's the side effects, so you can know that everything you did was the best decision for you and safe for your health.
So one question that I have for people that's taking the vaccine is, why did you start believing that the news is Bible? Why do we just believe because we see it on mass media that everybody should do it? Oh, because a celebrity said they took the vaccine? People take the vaccine and praise about it on Instagram like they voted. It's the same exact thing. I voted, you should vote too. Got the sticker, they got vaccine stickers. I took the vaccine. It's like, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all.
Research provides growing evidence that mRNA COVID-19 vaccines offer similar protection in real-world conditions.
COVID-19 vaccination is an important tool to help stop the pandemic.
D.N.A. Hey DNA family, I'm excited that we're being joined by Dr. Pamela Sims-Mackey. She's a pediatric specialist here in Oakland, California, and has over 27 years of experience in the medical field. Dr. Sims-Mackey currently serves on the American Board of Pediatrics Board of Directors. She's also the chair of pediatrics and chief of graduate medical education at Alameda Health System and a number of others. In addition, she has annually been voted as one of the Bay Area's best doctors with countless other honors and awards. In fact, her background is so extensive, we will have to do another segment just to cover her accolades. Dr. Pam, thank you for taking the time to join us. It's an honor to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much. It's an honor to be here, and thank you for that kind introduction.
No problem. First, I'd like to ask, what gave you the desire to get into this field?
You know, I think everybody who enters medicine, you just want a chance to help people, to make a difference in people's lives. Pediatrics to me is just super rewarding. I love children, and feel like, you know, I'm part of their family, and I get to watch them grow up and make those relationships over time and hopefully make life a little bit better for them.
Sounds great. Do you have any words of inspiration for the young men and women looking to do the same thing?
Yeah, I would just say, you know, trust yourself that you can do it. I think along the way, there's a lot of myths out there. People think, you know, you have to get straight A's all the time, or, you know, never have a stumble. But most people in medicine you'll talk to, they've had some trials and tribulations. It's not an easy path. It's a long path. But if you have the desire, you can achieve it. There's nothing super special, you know, just a lot of, you know, hard work and time and dedication, but you too can achieve it. So I just want to encourage people, if that's your dream, to go after it.
Yes, that sounds beautiful. Now, the following questions are a few concerns other African Americans in our community have voiced in our outreach. Given the history of African Americans with negative hospital encounters in this country, let alone being vaccinated, what words of comfort would you offer?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you really look at the history, the bad things that happened to African Americans really was from them being withheld, like treatment wasn't given to them. A lot of people cite like the Tuskegee experiment, but you know, these are people who were infected with syphilis who they did not give the cure to, and they just followed them over time. And so, yes, so there are injustices in the past. But, you know, hopefully we've learned from our mistakes, you know, and that we can do better. And this is an opportunity that we're trying to give, you know, people good medical care and the right thing to protect them. So, you know, we always talk about there's not a line here for your COVID vaccine if you're Black, and a line over here, COVID vaccine if you're white. Everybody's in the same line. So we want to make sure everyone has the same access to great care.
Yes. Okay. Now, this is for those who have a harsh outlook on the vaccine and may say, oh, she's successful and out of touch. She's being paid by the government agency to say this. She doesn't have the African American interest in mind. What would your response be?
Yeah, I would say I'm a real person just like everyone else. I'm right here. I've always served my community. I've always worked. My clientele that I see is 99.9% Black, African American, you know, and I would just say, you know, talk to the people, see the comments, you know, on my LinkedIn and whatever. I know a lot of people, you know, I played basketball and everything, not being paid to say this, you know, my best, you know, I'm in a service profession. I'm here to serve the people. And I feel I take that role very seriously because I want to be able to advocate for people who may not have a voice to advocate for themselves. I want to, you know, give my patients and community the best knowledge that they have so that they can make decisions in their best interest and things like that. So, you know, all I can say is, you know, I have that at my heart, and I don't feel like I'm on. My son will say I'm out of touch because he says I'm getting old, but but I don't feel like I'm out of touch. And you know, I strive. I live in the same community that I serve, so you know, that's all I can say.
That's great. Now, the two main vaccinations that are being administered are Pfizer and Moderna. Are there any differences in their construction? If so, what are the differences?
Yeah, so, you know, I'm not a researcher, so I'll just preface it by that. But Pfizer and Moderna, I said they're almost like Motrin and Advil. You know, they're really essentially the same, but produced by two different companies. And so there are a few little differences. The ones we know about are like storage, like one has to be kept at a lower temperature than another. And, who they did their trials on and who got approval to be given in certain age group versus, but essentially they're the same mechanism. They're called mRNA vaccines. So I don't know if you want me to go into detail about that type of vaccine or not, but yeah. So I always tell people, as a pediatrician, I order a lot of vaccines for a lot of different things, chickenpox, measles, mumps, and rubella, things like that. And I tell people, I was like, the COVID vaccine is a very elegant vaccine, and it actually produces a lot better immunity sometimes than the ones we're given to everybody routinely already. And so what an mRNA vaccine does is you administer it and your body kind of reads the code, and then it uses your own body's mechanisms, the things we make all the time to fight off infections that we come across, like a cold or anything else we come across in life. It uses your own body's mechanism to produce antibodies or things that fight off infection or antibodies to those little like spiky things that you see when you see pictures of coronavirus. And that alerts your body like, hey, that's not supposed to be there. And then your body can destroy it and take care of it. So it's really kind of elegant in how it's made.
That was actually really educational. Thank you for that. Yeah. Do these vaccinations in any way alter your DNA?
No, they do not alter your DNA. They're not going to make you grow 3 heads or anything like that. Okay. It's using your existing mechanisms.
Okay. Do you know of any documented side effects?
So, it's funny. I talk about side effects. So there's side effects that I always, as a pediatrician, when we talk about getting your kids vaccines and things like that, they're what I call them anticipated reactions, because it's what we want to see happen, because that means your immune system is reacting to the vaccine. So we know it's working. So things of those are like soreness at the site. Some people get a redness or lump at the injection site. Some people feel kind of achy a little bit, a little low-grade fever, tiredness. Those are what I always call anticipated reactions, because that's your body revving up to something that and your immune system is taking control. Unexpected side effects that we have not seen with COVID vaccine are, if someone has like a major seizure or something like that. And so, like I said, the safety profile is very good with the COVID vaccine. I think a lot of people kind of experience maybe those minor kind of side effects, but there are people who don't experience any of those kind of side effects or anticipated vaccine reactions.
Okay. Do you know of any long-term effects that may surface years from now?
No, I have not heard of any long-term effects of the vaccine. Unfortunately, there are some long-term effects we're starting to see of COVID infection, people who get sick with COVID having long-lasting neurologic or heart disease problems and things like that. There is, when they were developing the vaccine, there was a group of individuals who volunteered basically to be in what they call the trials to see if it was going to work and stuff. And those people are over a year ahead of everybody else. And so they continue to monitor those people. And that's what we do with any kind of advances in medicine or whatever. You continue to monitor to see, but there have not been any known long-term side effects.
Okay, I
can tell the vaccine.
Okay. Now, this was too fast of a turnaround for a lot of people to trust. After Dr. Anthony Fauci had given an announcement stating it taking about 2 years and needing to run tests, some people feel like they're the test subjects. Can you shed some light on the process for us?
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure I mention her name. So I don't know if many people know, but one of the main researchers with all coronaviruses and vaccine development was a Black woman. And I'm probably saying her name wrong, but it's Kizzmekia Corbett. So she's a vaccine researcher who was actually studying corona vaccines for like 6 years prior to this pandemic even hitting. And she says she was researching those vaccines just to see, she wasn't trying to develop a vaccine. She was just trying to research vaccine development and how you can get a good immune response. And she was using coronaviruses for that. So actually the research that she did actually put us way ahead. So it wasn't like people had to start from scratch when this pandemic hit to develop a vaccine. They had 6 years worth of data from her lab about how this virus works and what things are effective to develop this vaccine. So when you are approving a vaccine, there are different stages. So no stages were skipped in order to bring the COVID vaccine to market. What they did is they went through those cycles faster than usual, but they did not skip any steps. And I think that's an important point. You know, people think, oh, they cut out this, they cut out that. They went through each stage that they had to go through, but it was like they got to go to the front of the line every single time. And so that's how it was approved for emergency authorization use so quickly after the pandemic hit.
Okay. Well, that's Black excellence right there.
There you go.
But I would just like to thank you so much for your time, and we really appreciate it. And I hope this is not our last encounter, because I would love to do a segment on you.
Oh, thank you. Well, it was my pleasure, and hopefully it'll shed some knowledge out there for people who can use it to make some great decisions for themselves.
Yes. Have a nice day.
All right. Bye-bye.
When you look at what's being considered, like prayer, proper research on types of vaccines, who developed them, which ones have maximum potency, side effects long and short term, and how many doses, it's important to make an educated decision on your future. It's ultimately up to you. But if you don't get vaccinated, then at least be an advocate for safety and respect the existing protocols. Stay masked up and cleaned up. In conclusion, I've come to see that the most important thing is to be responsible and considerate of your fellow man and woman. It's for the greater good of the overall community. We have links to comprehensive information on vaccines to know what you're dealing with. We can't stress enough to educate yourself so you know you're making the right decision. Thank you for tuning in to this special segment covering vaccinations here on DNA.
DNA.
Those are vaccinated individuals who've contracted COVID.
NBC4's Hetty Chang live in downtown LA tonight with one man's experience of getting COVID a second time, even
What's
after
your
getting
thoughts on the shot?
vaccinated. Hetty.
Is it the government's plot? Is they really trying to help, or do they want you to rot? Now I know they all saying we want COVID to stop, so is you ready or not? I won't drop. What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shots? I know there's a lot. What's your thoughts on the shots? Putting robots in your arm, that's crazy. Is there a bigger risk for men than there is for ladies? Talking about I'll do it if it goes through Jay-Z. Wait, maybe if they pay me. Wait, will I get rabies? Nah, my mind's on return. If I take the shot, I hope my bones don't go eat earth. Searching, trying to do all the research. But if I take the shot, then I'll be the research, so I prefer a different strategy. I'll just sit back and watch the human anatomy. If those who take the shots end up casualties, then maybe the government won't be mad at me.
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shots?
Yeah.
I know there's a lot.
What's your thoughts on the shots?
Now I ain't do nothing wrong, but not taking a shot is also cause for alarm. Nothing like the pig flu, cause this ain't no barn. But if I take the shot, it might do no harm. I might be saving a life just by shedding some light and doing what's right. Remember, we must fight. I know it messed up a lot, but don't let it stop. Now show me what you got.
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot?
Shots.
What's your thoughts on the shot? I know there's a lot.
What's your thoughts on the shot?